This is going to be an overview session on getting started with Varsity Learning for your math course. Hope to cover a few things today, get everybody up and going. My name is Patrick McKeag, and I'm the product manager of VarsityLearning.com. So Varsity Learning is an online platform used in class, in a computer lab, or after school for homework. So we're going to go over some of the things and features that we have available. First and foremost, the online homework. This is the feature that everybody likes about XYZ. It gets a lot of instructors out of the grading business. It allows students unlimited practice. All these grades show up in the gradebook for students, instructors, and even parents to see. And then we also have these template courses organized with course notes and video lessons. Okay, so I'd like to get right to it if we could. Again, please type any questions you have into the chat. We'll try to get to as many of those as we can. Okay, so we have a demo course for Algebra 1 that we're currently looking at. Starts with a nice little introduction to Varsity Learning to the students. And as we scroll down, we see all of the topics that we have available. Now, these topics are completely customizable by the instructor. We've ordered them in a traditional order. You can pick and choose which topics you cover, which topics you don't. Each topic generally has 3 items. We have these course notes, covers the rules, properties, definitions, anything students are going to need to know for that particular section. Then we have video lessons for most of these topics as well. Students can play the video lessons directly in Varsity Learning, or they can click on the link and it'll take them to YouTube. But this little plus sign takes them right to the video lesson. So very handy. A lot of our users will play these in class on a whiteboard. They'll stop these to cover the important points, let the students answer them. It's great if their students are actively taking notes and trying these problems on their own as the instructor works them, and then they're a great pathway to additional questions in class. But by far the most compelling use of Varsity Learning is our online homework questions. So students access those there. And then we have a little fill in the blank for any vocab questions. Some of our questions are drop down. Most of them are not. So students are going to type in an answer. They get 3 attempts at that answer. After the first attempt, they get another attempt. They'll submit the wrong answer. Correct answer again, and then they move along to the next question. If the student gets the question wrong, then they're going to see a red box indicating they got this wrong. They're going to be able to submit a new answer. They get that answer wrong. They get 1 more attempt, 3 attempts. Let's get this wrong a 3rd time, and now the student is shown the correct answer. So now the student's shown the correct answer, and we can use this button, try a similar question. The similar question is going to give the students another question for number 6. It's going to have the same instructions, but it's going to have different values and probably a different variable as well, and the process starts over. That is, students get 3 attempts at this. After 3 attempts, they have their choice of they'll be able to see the correct answer, and they'll try a new question. Okay? So that's by far the most compelling part of Varsity Learning. We have over 30,000 questions in the system through all the courses from pre-algebra through pre-calculus, and even some calculus courses in here right now. All of the answers are captured in the online gradebook. So the online gradebook is a nice view. It'll show you how many questions are available in each section from the templates. The templates, again, are highly customizable. We've pre-built these and saved the instructors a lot of time in getting started. So all these questions are available. Grade books can be set up to be used online or offline, meaning we have online homework as the only category here, but we're certainly able to add a new category. Maybe we're doing something in class, you want to capture a quiz you've done in class. We can give quizzes a different weight than homework. Maybe quizzes are worth 40%, online homework is going to be worth 60%. We can go ahead and save those changes. You can see that we can drop the lowest or keep the number of highest scores as well. We'll save these. Now, quiz is something you're going to do in class. Anything in class in Varsity we call an offline grade. So let's go ahead and add an offline grade to our grade book. We just added a category called quizzes, so let's add an item called quiz 1. So maybe quiz 1 is worth 50 points. We're going to show our score to the students today. Now, gradebook category, this is where we just created that new category called quizzes. So that's obviously where we're going to put this item called quiz 1. Okay? So we can submit this now and we'll have created this item in the new category. If this was a real class, we see a list of our students here. We'd be able to enter all of their scores for quiz 1 as well as any feedback. Okay, so right now we're just going to submit this. And there it is, our new category. We can isolate our grade book and just look at our new category called quizzes. It's worth 40% of our grade. And there it is. Okay, so that's adding a category. There's no limit to the number of categories that can be added to the grade book, and you can mix and match online and offline grades within a category as well. Okay. Last thing I was going to point out in the grade book, go back to all. Grade books can be exported to a spreadsheet file in order to be imported into your other system that you're using at school. So we can export the entire grade book. Very useful. Okay. So just getting a glimpse of the number of topics here. This is our Algebra 1 course, as I said before. We have pre-algebra, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, geometry, trigonometry, and pre-calculus, all coded into the system. Over 1,000 questions in each course. You can mix and match these however you'd like. Okay. So if we're to go back and look at our topic 1, C1, addition property of equality, we have multiplication property of equality, solving linear equations. Again, some class notes. These are editable on the instructor's part. There's video lessons to go with them. And then, of course, the online homework problem set. So these range from these fill-ins to start with the vocab to build your own answer. See the variety of questions we have available. In this case, they're matching. Whenever we have an equation or a question where there's going to be no solution or infinity or something like that, we try to make these matching problems so it doesn't give away the answer to the student right away. Okay, so here, choose A and B and get them right just the same. Okay. Some of the other question types, as you might imagine, a big part of high school math is going to be graphing. So when we start looking at graphing of equations, the students can use the little tool to graph. So the x-intercept is going to be 1, y-intercept, let's see, -4. Plot it just like that. You can see we can also plot quadratics, parabolas, absolute value functions, circles, or just dots. System also has the ability to graph the trig functions, radical functions, and exponentials. In this case, let's do this again. Okay, I did the wrong thing. Clear it, x-intercept, y-intercept. Student submits it. In this case, there's 3 parts to this question. Each part has the same weight, that is 1/3 of the grade, and there it is. Okay. See, there's many of these graphing type questions in here. Students really enjoy doing these, especially if they're on a tablet. They actually use their finger to do the graphing. So very useful. Okay, so one of the big parts of the online homework system is the algorithmically generated questions. So every student is going to have a different version of this problem when they get them. This actually, we found, leads to more discussion among the students. So instead of a student just telling the other student or their friend the correct answer, they actually start discussing the steps in order to receive the correct answer. Now within the settings, instructors have the ability to make quite a bit of changes. So specifically the questions. So if we wanted every student to have the same questions, we would click these 2 boxes right here where every student gets the same version of the questions. So these are off by default. So the default setting for Varsity Learning is that every student receives a different version of the question. To change that for any specific assignment, we would go here and create that. Okay? Let's see. So one thing we haven't talked about is kind of the guts of how to do this. And besides being ADA compatible, this system's going to work on mobile devices, so tablets. I personally use a tablet when I show it in class. I know some students actually try to do their homework on an iPhone or their cell phone, and while the system will work, certainly don't recommend typing in fractions on a cell phone, but it certainly works correctly. Let's see, so dates. So let's say we want to assign topic D1. We're going to need to go into settings, and we can edit any of this material we want. Maybe we don't want to cover all this material. Maybe we want to cover more. We can put our own new material in here as we see fit. We can link videos from YouTube or any other source in here as we see fit. In this case, let's see, this assignment is available now, but let's make this due on Friday, and we'll save changes. Okay, and now we can add a calendar to this course by clicking on the calendar icon. Now when the students log in, they're going to see that we have an assignment due a week from today. They're going to click on that calendar item, D1, and they're going to say, oh, I have to work this assignment, D1, and they go right in here. So here's assignment D1, there's 15 questions. The students access this from their calendar. Okay, so really to get started in Varsity Learning, instructors will need to go to their course and then start looking at assignments they want to assign, and then probably assigning dates when assignment's available and when it becomes due. So this can be done 2 ways. The first way is directly through the assignment itself, like we just showed with assignment D1. But if you had your entire calendar in front of you and you wanted to map this out and get it done quickly, we could come over here where it says mass change. And mass change is where a lot of things can be changed at the same time. So if you want to make a change to the number of attempts for every problem, for all the assignments, you'd want to choose mass change assignments. Let's just see how that works. Choose mass change assignments. All the assignments are checked. And maybe I don't want to give 3 attempts before I show the correct answer. Maybe I want to give only 2 attempts. So I had to check the box here to change it. None of the other information here is actually relevant right now since all the assignments have different settings, theoretically. I'm going to change this to 2 attempts per problem. I'm going to go ahead and apply the changes. And so I just changed every assignment to allow only 2 attempts per question instead of 3. So I changed that for all 75 assignments in this Algebra 1 course. Not for all the courses, just for my Algebra 1 course. Okay, so back to dates, we can use the same thing for dates. Obviously, dates are a little bit different in that we do want different dates for each assignment, but we can go ahead and do that in here. The first thing we want to do is say, okay, we're going to change all of these dates, and we want to change the end date to something by dates, so we're going to have those appear. And now we want all of the end dates to be sometime in this year. So not 1/11, how about 12/11/2015? And now watch, all the other dates we want to be changed as well. So we're going to send down that date change to all the other times, to all the other assignments, I should say. And now all the assignments were changed by this to the same date. Maybe that's not what we want, so we come down to assignment B. We want assignment B due the next day, so we'll send that change down. So all of assignment B is going to be the next week. Following week, we want assignment in topic C, and so on and so forth. So with just a little bit of, oh, that one's way off. So make this 2016. This will be in January. Make this due on the 8th. Send it down. Okay. Topic E, the 15th, send down. So we're assuming all of our assignments for the week are going to be due on a Friday. Setting them up for the entire year. Looks a little bit tedious, but when you think about setting up all of your assignments for the entire year, it's actually not that much work at all, is it? Okay, February. And obviously you can change these dates to whatever you want. Topic J, quadratics. And K, more functions. And so we just set the dates really quickly there. We're going to save these, and now these are going to appear on the calendar. So we can expand the calendar to more weeks, and you can see how we have all of the dates set. The colors are different because I think the opening dates are different on some of these. Some of them are red, some of them are green. That's not just for the holidays. Okay, so that's a really brief overview of setting dates. Those dates, again, auto-populate on the calendar. We didn't have to do anything special. If you want to put another note on the calendar, we call that an event, so we can manage an event. And we can put a date for the event that we want to manage. Maybe we want to have an event on Monday. We can type in a little note to our students and some more details about it. Let them know what the quiz is going to be on, what it will cover. You can add it to the calendar. Go ahead and save the changes. We see on Monday, now we've added an event. It's called Quiz 1. Student clicks on it. They just see the other text that we typed in there. If the calendar gets to be too much, we can simply delete the calendar. It goes away. But since everything auto-populates the calendar, we can get it back really easily just by clicking on the calendar. And there it is again. So our calendar, we can't really get rid of it. We can move it around. Okay? The Getting Started guide here for students shows students how to use our Math Quill editor. This is for entering fractions, exponents, roots, and has some other functions, absolute value. For the more difficult, higher level classes, it will also include function notation. So our Getting Started guide included in every one of the course templates. Students have access to that as well. Okay. Any questions on anything so far? One of the other things I want to show everybody really quick is you should be auto-enrolled in our Varsity Learning support course. The support course is where you'll find a lot of the information, the printouts, student registration guide. Here's a nice PDF that you can email or give to your students so they can get started in the class. They simply need an email address. It doesn't have to be a real email address either. And the course ID, if I didn't show the course ID, that will be a unique 4-digit ID found in the upper right-hand corner of the course. This is unique to your individual course. Please don't give them this number. This is mine. And when you log into your class, you'll see that. Okay? You can create as many courses as you want in Varsity just by going to Menu and then adding a new course. This little button right here is going to let you add a new course. New course name here. I want to do a geometry course. You simply type the name of the course, and then down here is our list of course templates. We choose geometry, submit it, and now we have created a new geometry course. It's going to have a new unique course ID like before, and now we see all of our geometry content in here as well. Okay, so all of this content is yours to use as you please, mix and match. You can take content from one course, put it in another with a copy feature. So you can copy from your own items, you can copy from the template courses, you can copy from your colleagues' courses and have them copy your course. This copy function is very useful for larger departments that are deploying Varsity Learning across many different teachers and sections. They'll set up what's called a group template, which is really a customized Varsity Learning template that they use for their courses. We can help set that up, or someone in the department generally is the lead on that. They'll set up the course one time and then let everybody else copy that course once it's complete. And it really cuts down on the amount of work needed from everybody in the department. Okay, so that's there as well. What were we looking at? The support course. Go back to that. Support course, so it's got the Getting Started guide for students, and then all these how-to guides. So these how-to guides, very useful. Signing up students will be a little file, show you step-by-step with screenshots on how to get students signed in. So very useful. And let's see, what else do we have here? We use our own discussion boards to ask questions. Find that useful. Let's see. And then we also have our worksheets. So we've created these printable worksheets for, looks like 3 of the topics. We make the worksheets available in both a PDF version, but also a Word version. So these worksheets are completely customizable by you in Word. They're going to be editable as well. Okay. So let's see it. We can get to a couple of the questions we have. Let's see, Rebecca has asked, can you separate the courses by course hour? You absolutely can set up as many courses in Varsity as you'd like. A couple things to keep in mind. The more courses that you have, the more courses you have to manage. So if you teach one or more Algebra 1 or Algebra 2 courses, as long as your due dates are the same, many instructors find having one Varsity course for multiple classroom sections can be a little bit easier to manage if the 2 classes are on the same schedule at least and the due dates are the same. If due dates are not the same, then you will want to have more than one course for every section, or one course for every section, I should say. And teachers can absolutely create their own online assignments. They can do that. Let's see, we get back to this demo course we just created, the Algebra 1. So if we want to create a new assignment, we highly recommend you start with one of the assignments that we already have in here. We have all of the class notes here, we have the video lessons, and we have the settings so they're all the same. But basically, if you want to do your own assignment, you'll go into where it says questions, and you see the list of questions here. You can preview them, see what they look like. So this is a number line question. There's plotting points. And then you can see all the questions we have available for this topic. So many more questions that we have available. So you can choose from any of these. It's just a matter of previewing them. Going through here, we can see that there's 41 questions available still. You can get an idea of what's available. If we like this question, we can give it a check. And we see we have 2 different questions checked. And we can add these to the default assignment. And now there's 22 questions in this assignment. Okay? Click done, and it's in there. So instructors can absolutely create their own assignment. You can also upload links, so your own worksheets if you want. We have forums available. So forums are really slick, and they let students communicate mathematically. Our forum in here, let's see. So simplifying expressions, let me show you how the forums work. So let's get to a question that would be hard to communicate via email, right? Something with some fractions or exponents. There we go. So you wouldn't want to really communicate via email with a question like this. Pretty complicated. But with the forums, what we're going to do, so if a student has a question with this, maybe this is a homework assignment, by clicking on Ask This Question to a Forum, the system will pre-format the subject line and let everybody in class know that this is a question about number 16 in assignment B6. Student can type a little note in here, please help, and then they're going to post this thread. So they go ahead and post it. Now the instructor or another student can go in and say, oh, there's a question here. The math is going to look beautiful, real math. By the way, this is ADA compliant, so we can zoom in on it if we want. So if you're showing this on a whiteboard, you can zoom in on it so the students in the back of the room can see it. It also works with the ADA compliant screen readers, so very handy. Okay, so back to answering this question. We can hit reply as a student or instructor. And now we have some tools available that are going to allow us to type in our own math. Maybe I don't need to answer this question directly, but I can just give you an example of the capabilities. Oops. So maybe I want to type in some math that would be hard to communicate via email. Type that in. It's going to show like this. We can post the reply. Likewise, maybe you're doing a question on graphing. You want to have some graphs. Ever tried to use the graphing calculators via email? It can be a lot of work, and you don't always get to use different colors. You can put arrows on these as well, add the graph, insert it right there. And now the forums have these built-in mathematical features, so we can communicate via mathematics and with graphs. It's all built in right here. Okay, so back to the topics. Let's see, there's a few more questions in here. Yes, I am recording this, and we're going to post it to YouTube so everyone can see it. We don't allow pen input yet, but that's certainly on the list. And so Canvas is, the question is, can we integrate with Canvas? And the answer is yes. So Canvas is a learning management system that's used in a lot of schools now, similar to Blackboard or Moodle. They are what we call LTI compliant, that is Learning Technology Interoperability, and Varsity Learning platform supports the same standards as Canvas. So absolutely, A lot of our users have us integrated with their Canvas system as well. And a lot of our users like to use Varsity just as it is because of some of the mathematical features of the forums that I just showed. Okay, any other questions so far? Looks like we're getting to the end of our demo. Happy to answer any more questions. If you have a login, please log in. Give Varsity a try. We're here for support when you have questions. See the last slide. So our support email, support@VarsityLearning.com. We answer these questions at all hours of the day or night. Once again, this is not a free trial. This is a regular Varsity account. These are no cost to you or your students. We're very excited to be offering it like this. And yes, it works with your LMS. That was a question I just answered about Canvas. Okay? So thank you, everybody. Please tell your department. We are happy to schedule live demos for departments or just individuals to answer specific questions. Or please contact us at our email address there. So we really appreciate your time today. And if there's no more questions, we're going to end this in just a moment. Well, thank you, everybody, very much. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.